What is going on, guys? Horizon here, and today we have something a little bit different. We are taking a look today at the final match that was played between NRG and Team BDS in the finals of the RLCS Fall Major in Sweden. We are going to go through this and we are going to see what exactly happened that caused NRG to have a bit of trouble in this last game. As an additional note, I am not as good as these players. I probably never will be as good as these players, nor am I any kind of professional Rocket League coach. However, I do hope to use this video to kind of look through the eyes of pro Rocket League players to see how they think and see what mistakes they make throughout the game, as mistakes they make are absolutely 100% mistakes we also make. All in all, this entire series pretty much revolved around BDS completely controlling the midfield and NRG striking on counterattacks. However, that was more or less completely shut down in this Game 7, and between all three NRG players, I think GarrettG definitely had the weakest game, but we will go through and see what we can see, so let's go ahead and kick this right on off. When you go on kickoff, these side boosts are in the same place every time. So I know I definitely have a habit of turning off ball cam when going for these side boosts, but that means that I'm not watching at all what's going on with the play. You can see Garrett here does a really good job of just leaving that ball cam on, because that mid boost is in the same place every time. It's not going anywhere, so you don't really need to look for it. You just gotta follow the white line and go grab it. So that's a small thing, but it enables you to keep an eye on the play. Another thing that I like right here is Garrett flips, because he's going to go get this ball, right? So as soon as this clear comes in from Squishy, right there, that clear happens. So he is thinking Justin might be coming back. So Garrett, they do a really good job of conserving their boost. So while a lot of players would probably just hold down the boost button this entire time as they're moving towards this ball, Garrett holds down the boost for a little bit, but then doesn't flip. So now he's only used like, well, what was it? He hasn't used a whole lot of boost at all, from 78 to 50. So he's used 28 boost. He's Supersonic, but he hasn't used like more than half of his boost. So that's another really good thing that he does. But as soon as Justin turns and gives the call to Garrett that he's got this, Garrett doesn't go for the ball, he just kind of waits. And then this is like the highlight of pro gameplay as they're positioning, because Garrett here is just watching Monkey Moon and Extra to see where they're gonna play this ball. And as soon as he sees this, he knows it's coming this way, so he's just going to chill on the right side of the field here, and just wait for their touch, and he's going to drive up the wall. So you'll notice that he stayed on the ground here, right? When Justin gets his touch, Garrett's waiting on the ground. He's not prematurely moving to the wall. He knows the ball's coming this way, but he doesn't know if it's going to be high, low, he doesn't know exactly where it's going to be. So he's keeping his options open, which is really good. If he were to commit too far in one direction here, then he'd be stuck, and if something else happened, he'd be kind of screwed. So he waits here on the ground, and then, as soon as that ball, he sees that that ball goes up, he goes up the wall. Now here's probably the first mistake that we're going to see, because he has put Squishy in a pretty rough spot here. So if we look at this touch, I think he might have gotten stuck between a couple of options. So right here, I think he has a couple of choices. Number one, he has 61 boost, and currently the near side of the backboard is undefended, because Extra's not going to be able to get up there overly quickly. Monkey Moon's at the threat of being bumped by Justin. So I'm actually a little surprised that we didn't see him make a play for this double tap. I think he might have wanted to control this ball using like the left side of his car and catch it that way and be able to take this into an air dribble. But the ball gets a little too far, so now it just kind of pops out into the middle. And I think you can tell by the way he jumped and he was probably planning on following this, but as soon as this touch happened, it was kind of a lost cause. But now, Squishy's in a real rough spot here, because he's the last man back, so we can't really dive for this, but he's getting bared down upon by all three BDS players, so he's forced to go. Luckily, he does get a block, and NRG can stave off the counterattack, but real rough spot there that Garrett put his team in. This is another thing that you'll see pros do a lot as well. And you see marked by 8 coming down the right side. So Garrett knows not to play the ball that way. So he's going to air roll his car slightly to make sure that he gets to the right side of this ball and play it to the left to open space towards Squishy. Maybe Squishy can turn. Unfortunately, Squishy has no boost. But smart idea just to keep it away from marked by 8. What you like to see. Patience on the backboard. Also really good. Bit of a missed touch there, but it's fine. We secure the boost. Again, patience. This is another thing. So a lot of players, I think, would have a tendency to right in this position, they want to just go. Like, cool, that ball's there, I'm going to challenge, I'm going to go get that ball. But instead, Garrett waits, because he knows, like, Monkey Moon doesn't have much of an option except to hit this towards Garrett. So if Garrett just sits and chills, well, hey, look, now it's an even better challenge for us. And BDS has creeped up a little bit, so now we get a free possession. It's the little things. It's the little things that pros do that make them so much better than your average player. Bar rotation here. I like this early jump. I feel like a lot of players would want to go to the backboard here. Like, play the backboard for this high touch. But by jumping early, Garrett ensures that Mark can't have a shot. Because if Garrett doesn't jump and he plays backboard, Mark pretty much has a free net to shoot at. I mean, it'll be defended, but it'll still be a free shot. By doing this, he's like, yeah, no, you're not shooting this ball. And he gives his teammates time to get back and enable them to make the defensive stop. This is what we saw a lot during this series, though, which is BDS absolutely pressuring the crap out of NRG. And right here, I feel like there's an opportunity for Garrett to do a little bit more with this ball. So Justin's behind him. Justin has full boost. Squishy right now, I think, has 21. So he doesn't have a whole lot. Justin has 100. So Garrett with this ball, if we look at the field right now, in between Mark by 8 and Monkey Moon, there is just a ton of space. Because Monkey Moon just is picking up the corner right now. So if Garrett can get a bit of a lighter touch on this, it is highly possible that he could then take control of this ball, or maybe Justin can come up behind him with a full boost to take control of it. But by banging this away, he's just fully giving away possession, which, when you're struggling and getting pounded with pressure by the other team this entire time, giving away possession is probably the last thing you want to do. But he chucks it away, Monkey Moon covers it, and it's right back in NRG's half. Not totally surprising, really good clear there by Justin though to get them out of a jam. And once again, let's look at this. This is the second time Garrett's done this, so he comes down the field. He knows Extra has a touch on this ball. He doesn't know where it's going though, so he's not hard committing in any direction yet. He's just staying neutral, keeping his options open, and then as soon as he sees Extra's touch, not even as soon as he sees the touch, as soon as he knows where this ball is going, because right there, he sees where Extra's car is pointing, so he knows it's probably going towards the wall. And sure enough, it sure is. He's able to get the block, not too much out of it, but certainly better than nothing, for sure. Knows he has time to go full boost, also fine. Positioning well, just being ready for whatever. Unfortunate touch by Justin, but Garrett's gonna bother the crap out of Monkey Moon. I actually would have liked to see Garrett get a demo here. Like, he's still going Supersonic, so if he just turns slightly to the right, this is a demo on Monkey Moon, and relieves a lot of pressure. But unfortunately, he turns left so he doesn't get it. And now he's in a real rough spot because he sees the shot from Extra coming. So he's just gonna beeline this back to net and hope for the best. Luckily, it's a light shot from Monkey Moon, easy save. No problems, nothing to worry about there. Loses the boost. And this is probably the second big questionable thing. This boost gets taken. Cool, that's fine. But if we look at the field right here. So if we just get out of here real quick. Pad. There's so many. There's so many pads. So many to be had. Garrett has like 0 boost right now. So you would really think that pads would be his #1 priority right now. Especially with knowing that what just happened before this was the ball's in his half. He knows that. So I think rotating pads here is a much better idea, because it looks like he almost wants to commit to that side boost, but then he just misses all the pads. He picks up 2 at the tail end here, but I feel like he could have done a much better job rotating pads there. Gets back without much of an issue though, so it's not a major concern. A little bit of hiccup with Justin there, but gets things squared away. Making Extra play the ball swing. This is actually really smart. So he comes down here. There's no play here. Absolutely none. Because no matter where he plays this ball, Extra is going to be first. Or whoever's in the goal marked by 8 is going to be first. So instead, he plays this across and forces someone to go. But in forcing Extra to slow down to touch the ball, Garrett is actually able to then beat him over to that boost, which is really good. He gets demoed, but Extra now doesn't have use of the boost, which is nice. This is another thing that I think is underrated in a lot of people's lobbies. So he gets demoed. You'll notice as soon as he respawns, so he knows the ball is coming back towards his half. As soon as he respawns, he doesn't turn to look for a boost. He just immediately turns back to net, which is really smart because you got 33 on spawn, so you don't really need a whole lot. That's beautiful boost usage. Like, just feathering it, just to propel himself enough to get over. And, okay, so questionable thing number 3, because I think this goal is on him. So, Extra takes the ball away. That's fine. There's no boost here. The ball has just gotten 50-50 back into your half. You are front man, so that's fine. You went for the challenge, all good. All 3 BDS players are here and ready to go on an attack. I think the last thing you should do here is go for a big boost pad. Because going all the way to the opponent's half, even though you have Jstn and Squishy on your team, who are 2 of probably the greatest defenders in North America, running all the way to BDS's half here to pick up that boost is leaving Jstn and Squishy in a 3v2 for a really long time. So Garrett leaves, Jstn gets beat, Squishy gets a touch, but it's not a great one. And actually, I want to see this from Squishy's perspective. So let's see what happens here. So Squishy jumps initially, and then fails. He gets that touch, but he can't even push this to a safe place, because if he tries pushing this to the right, to the corner, he's getting blocked. So, yeah. But Garrett, if he doesn't go all the way out for that boost, and instead just rotates pads once again, he's in a much better position to make a defensive play on this, because if he gets this, lovely feathering, get the block. If he rotates pads, now he's still in the defensive half. So Jesse gets beat. Garrett probably could have gone for that ball. At the very least, could have gotten a save there. You gotta put that goal on Garrett for sure. Running to your opponent's half for boost is always really risky, no matter who your teammates are. What exactly was the idea here? Is he... Okay, so I think he's going for... Extra here? Let me see. Yes. Okay, he's lining up for Extra here, which is a little bit odd. I think if you're gonna demo anybody here, you demo the cheat up, so Monkey Moon, because Extra currently isn't in the play. He's just used like all of his boost to come get the kickoff, so he's gonna be out of the play for a couple of seconds while he goes to that side boost. But if you demo Monkey Moon, he's the only person that can have an immediate impact on the ball. So I think if you're gonna go for a demo here, it's gotta be the cheat up player, not the kickoff man, because that will buy your team a little bit more time. Either way, he gets toasted, so mute point. This is something that happens a lot, right? Like, you gotta really... Number 1, pass from Squishy. Absolutely beautiful. Number 2, though. I know Extra's bearing down on this play, but Monkey Moon's backwards. So I almost would like to see Garrett do a bit more with this ball. Because currently there's not a whole lot that a shot's gonna do. Because Justin's not going for a bump. If Justin's going for a bump here, that's freaking beautiful. But he's not. So Mark by 8's there. So even if he just takes like one touch, just to make this a little more threatening for Mark. I think he made Mark's life a little too easy there. By just taking a pot shot. Real easy save for Mark in that situation. Chillin'. Fine. This is another situation where I think a bump would have been absolutely killer. Because if Justin bumps Monkey Moon, I think Extra still gets back. But his clear isn't going to be great. So if Justin is a bit more aggressive here and goes for this bump, I think NRG have a really good chance of tying this up. Additionally, Justin's touch here just isn't the best. He's trying to be unpredictable, which I can also appreciate. But I think any kind of bump on Monkey Moon really opens up the goal here. Close. Very, very close attempt from NRG, for sure. Rotation back. Fine, beautiful. You'll notice the preservation and boost here. As soon as he's Supersonic, he stops using it, just uses his flips. Very nice. Beautiful save by Justin, the jump to avoid the demo. Perfect. A little bit of a high pass from Squishy, unfortunate, but I like the idea here. I think Extra had it covered either way, but the idea between Squishy and Justin, really solid. Another bit of a mechanical error by Garrett. This clear can't go into the ceiling. Anywhere but the ceiling. You put this into the ceiling, you're just passing it mid for the other team. You need to either keep this close or bang it all the way downfield. This cannot just go into the ceiling and drop into the midfield. Yikes. Free touch for Extra. Double commit. Squishy's probably got to let Justin go in that situation. Justin has the better line from inside the net. Garrett's got to let Squishy go in that situation. And this is the second goal, I believe. Yes. So, number one, because there's a couple of things here. Number one, NRG, currently, all positioned on the left side of the goal. They're completely crammed in, all crammed into this one spot. They're all kind of defending the same thing. No one's defending the back post right now, so it's a very vulnerable location. The ball lofts. So from Garrett's perspective, let's see what he sees this. He can assume Squishy's on the backboard. I'm assuming that's happened in comms. Squishy definitely has the better line on this ball. 100%. The Squishy can come at it with the nose of his car. Garrett has to air roll in a position for this. Yeah, Squishy does a great job getting back to that, but it's just not enough. So, calamity on all parts from NRG in this occasion. Because number one, that's Justin's ball for sure. Number two, this is Squishy's ball for sure. Number three, it's too late because everyone's on the left side of the goal and no one's defending back post. Calamity on all ends from NRG. Gotta spread out a bit more. Gotta make sure, even in chaotic situations on the goal line, those comms stay strong. Because if you get confused there, and you're double committing like that, and you all land in the same spot, you're in a lot of trouble. Double commits are fine if you land in different places. That's better from Garrett. This is what I wanted to see on the previous play. So he catches this, right? He makes him self-threatening. He gives himself more options. That's what you want to see. You don't want to make your options limited at any point. You want to keep your options as open as possible. And he gets a nice block. Unfortunately, the bounce comes down. But, you know, you take what you can get. Small wins. Lovely touch by Jstn to get it out. Almost follows it up. Would have possibly liked to see Garrett be a bit more aggressive here. You're down 2 with 1:20 left. I would at least like to see him driving at this ball with a bit more conviction. Because by hanging back, he's still invited Extra to take control of this. Garrett's far enough away that extra 1 and 2, he could absolutely do some damage with this ball. I would have liked to see Garrett a little bit closer just to make sure that Extra wasn't going to take a touch and try to solo play this. Luckily, he bangs it, so all is well that ends well. Lovely touch by Jstn. Almost works out. Garrett just pressuring the ball. Really nice. I like that he doesn't take himself out of the play here. So this is another thing that a lot of us can learn. There's a lot of us in this position would just like jump in this ball, somehow try to get a touch. What Garrett does here, he's like, cool, I'm not gonna get there. I know that. So instead, let me just put pressure on Extra, make sure he knows I'm here, and then I'll leave. Gets back to Supersonic, steals the boost, and it's all good. He's back in the play. Wasn't even out of it at all. That's a crazy save. This pass from Jstn is disgusting. That is a beautiful pass, but marked by 8. So annoying to play against, gets across. Holy, the defense from BDS in this series was on point. This is too loose of a touch. So, okay, the ball comes this way. It's fine. You let it bounce. If you look at Extra, he's just flipped back onto that corner boost. So he's not going to be able to challenge this ball immediately. With Garrett's first touch here, he still has space. No one's challenging him. I would like to see him try to take one guy out of the play by cutting this back towards the left, towards the right, not to the left, to the right, towards the corner and the backboard, because that's the hardest place for BDS to defend. By going infield, like right there, that touch, it's over. You're not getting back to that. BDS is too fast. They're going to beat you to it. If he had pushed this towards the backboard, Extra is in a real awkward spot. He probably gets challenged by marked by 8, but at least he's gotten around 1. And you can do a lot of damage from the corner. Doing this is just as good as giving away possession. Put it in a more threatening spot. All 3 BDS players can get to this. And they almost do. 2 of them go. This is a dangerous move infield here. So I think he thought Squishy had the read on it, so he was moving in. The problem is, as soon as Squishy doesn't have this, Garrett has now positioned himself behind marked by 8. So as soon as Squishy doesn't get this read and Monkey Moon gets the ball, they're in a world of trouble. I would have liked to see Garrett commit a little bit more back to net. He doesn't have to go all the way, right? So he doesn't have to commit fully. But I would like to see him take, like, the line, if he was heading right back towards that small boost pad to the right of him right now, if he was heading in that direction, I think it would be good, because he's only a little bit further back from the play. But additionally, if Squishy gets beat, which from this, just from looking right here, Monkey Moon is way closer to this ball. So there is very little likeliness that Squishy's actually getting this. And yeah, sure thing, he gets beat. Luckily, Justin's a god and gets the save. But real rough spot for Justin to be in. Somehow stretches across to get to it. At this point, we're just diving in. I can't even blame him for this. Because at this point, you're down 2 with 45 seconds left. You just go and hope for the best. YOLO challenges. You're in the finals of the first LAN in 2 years. YOLO challenge. This is kind of just playing it out. I would have liked to, again, see Garrett do more with this ball. So he pops this up. Monkey Moon's still on the ground. Like, Monkey Moon was on the ground for so long. So Garrett knows he's first to this ball. So I would like to see him do, like, there's a couple of options and things he could go for. Because, number one, you know there's going to be a BDS player on the backboard. 100% someone's going to be there. So I would like to see him either A, go for some kind of bump on Monkey Moon, who's going to be jumping up from the ground, or B, flat out beat Monkey Moon to this ball and hit it into the curve of the ceiling. Because with where marked by 8, who I believe is going to be on the backboard, where he is, and where he's going to be, he's not really expecting this to go up there. So, be unpredictable, put it in places they wouldn't guess. Even banging this into the ceiling might not be a bad idea, because that will put it farther away from the BDS players. Because if you can get past Monkey Moon by just banging this into the ceiling and dropping it down, really creates a good opportunity for your teammates. Unfortunately, he kind of tries to fake it, and it doesn't work out. And with that, that is what claims BDS the win in the RLCS Fall Major. Absolutely dominant in this series, actually. NRG had a couple good games, but NRG never took control of this series. This series pretty much was BDS's from Game 2 of Series 1. Like, NRG had their laugh in Game 1 of the first series, and then from that point on, BDS did a lot of controlling of the pace. And I think just a couple tactical decisions that were made in this game, as well as just some misplays in communications, really cost NRG overall. But like I said at the start of this, I am absolutely not a pro player. That is just what I see. That is just my thoughts. I am certainly going to take what I saw into my own gameplay, because I'm sure it'll help, because if these guys are making these mistakes, I am absolutely making these mistakes. So, definitely something that I can look into, and hopefully you guys got something out of this as well. And if you think you saw anything, or maybe you disagree with some of my analysis, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. Love to have a conversation about it. Help me learn a couple more things. That's what we're here to do. Just keep on learning, keep on grinding, get better every single day. And of course, before we wrap things up today, I do just want to take a quick moment to thank today's subscriber shoutout in Sarah Hook. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. I greatly appreciate you being here and helping this channel grow. And if any of you would like a subscriber shoutout of your own, all you have to do is click that bright red subscribe button right down below as I select a random subscriber to shout out in every single video. Thank you everybody so much for watching, as I greatly appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications. If you guys would like to see more of this like pro replay analysis, let me know down in the comments. And of course, if you guys have any other video ideas, suggestions, feel free to drop those down there as well. And as always, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.